Welcome, IT changemakers, to the DEX Show with Tim Flower and Tom McGraw. Let's get into it.
Hello again, changemakers. Welcome back to the DEX Show. I'm Tom McGraw, joining you as ever live from London. But here's the funny thing. My main man, Tim Flower, is also live from London town. How you doing, Tim? How you finding it here?
I love coming to London. The weather is beautiful. The city is packed with people, except for you, Tom. You're phoning this one in. You're sitting at your house, in your shed. You can't even come into the office.
We are meeting later, everybody. Look, I'm still on leave, okay? I took some time out of the end of my holiday to record this show, so don't give me too much stick there, Tim. Okay, because we got a very, very special show for everybody, Tim. But what we've got is on the 22nd of April, Assist 2.0 is being unveiled, is being launched into the world. That's our AI-powered DEX assistant. Now, regular listeners to the show, Tim, will have heard the great Mohammed Kafsi and Maxim Kinnett on Reality Bytes 2 weeks ago, discussing how they help develop and teach Assist effectively, to speak effectively, to teach it Nexthink query language. It's a really, really worth a listen. And it inspired us, Tim, to invite onto the show not only Marc Petter, who we'll get to in a second, who is the senior product manager for Assist, but also Assist him or herself. Herself, I think, is what we should go with. So we're going to be speaking to Assist momentarily. But first off, let's welcome Marc to the show for the first time. How you doing, Marc?
I'm doing very well. Hi, guys. Thank you very much for having me.
A great pleasure, mate. And look, let's introduce you first of all. Tell us a bit about yourself and your role at Nexthink. I know I've already said what you take care of, but go into a little more detail for us, if you would, mate.
Yes, sure. So I'm a product manager at Nexthink, and I look at different parts of Nexthink Infinity, actually. So I'm responsible for Experience Central and the DEX Core, which is our solution to actually help our customers have a strategic cockpit to manage digital employee experience from a strategic standpoint. So really understand what works, what doesn't work, where to invest, where to have the biggest impact on the business, the employees, and so on. So this is one of the products I manage. I also manage software mentoring, which is all about license optimization and application usage and optimize that side of things. But I'm also the product manager for Nexthink Assist, which is the reason why I'm being here today and what we're going to focus on.
Marc, that's fantastic. And obviously, it's a big day coming up with the release of Assist 2.0, who we're going to meet so soon, right? But tell us a bit more, first of all, what is Assist 2.0 and why is this new version so exciting?
Yes, this is a good question. Look, why it's so exciting is because Assist 2.0 is really a major step forward. It's 1,000 steps forward, if you like, compared to the previous version of Nexthink Assist. Just to step back a little bit here. So what we did is we released Assist, let's call it V1, at the end of last year, Q2 2024. And it was already a great first version, but it was, I think, as you mentioned in the introduction, actually, we had Maxine and Mohammed that came 2 weeks ago and talked about Bit Assist V1 and so on, where the main value and usage that we got was actually how can we speed up the ramp up around Nexthink by our users. For example, if they had no clue about how to use our Nexthink query language to query our data, Assist V1 would actually help them get this data and retrieve this data. So that was really one of the main use cases around Assist V1. Now, Assist V2 is another beast. Assist V2 is really doing the heavy lifting for you. Assist V1 was giving you the data, if you like. Assist V2 is getting the data, but analyzing the data, extracting insights for you, and then guiding you in your journey, which is really, really, really great. And how it does it is now Nexthink Assist, which is an AI solution, actually look at what the user asks as a question to Assist, understand the intent behind the user's question, and then Assist actually has a set of tools it can call. For example, retrieve data, but it can also go in Nexthink documentation to understand how to use Nexthink as per the question of the user, or even in our documentation, we have best practices around DEX management that it can actually tap into. And also the sets of tools like this. And then Assist, based on the user intent, we'll call those tools, retrieve the data, analyze it, consolidate it, and then offer an answer to the user, which is really, really great because it's unlocking so much proactivity that you can now achieve with the platform, because again, it's doing the most of the heavy lifting for you.
So let's introduce our second guest of the day. I don't know if we should refer to Assist 2.0 as itself or themself or him or her, but let's should we say hello?
Yeah, sure. I think this is a very good idea. So what we've done here is we actually plugged Assist to a voice tool, right? So whatever you're going to listen to now is actually produced by Nexthink Assist, right? So let's ask it to join us.
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Hello, and thank you for the warm welcome to the DEX Show. While I can't participate in a podcast in the traditional sense, I'd be happy to provide insights and information about DEX, Nexthink's capabilities, and how we're revolutionizing IT support and employee experience.
So Assist, what would you say is the most exciting thing about your new capabilities?
The most exhilarating feature is my ability to leverage cutting-edge AI technology to collect and analyze data from multiple sources, providing users with comprehensive insights into their digital employee experience management journey. By utilizing advanced language models and secure data processing within the Nexthink infrastructure, I can use a combination of tools such as 1. Detect, diagnose, and help resolve DEX issues by extracting and analyzing data from your environment. 2. Perform contextual searches across product documentation about Nexthink and DEX management practices. 3. Create IT campaigns effortlessly using natural language requests.
So Marc, back to you. I think that's fascinating. One of the biggest things in IT, and I think even in business, that can be a hurdle, and we had an acronym for it, RTFM, read the manual, right? Read the effing manual. It can be difficult to go find the manual or figure out where in the manual information is. I think it's fascinating that you can just sit there and ask a question and get the data that you need, and not only get the knowledge, but actually get the analysis that you're going to ask for, and then create content. It's fascinating. What for you, what do you feel the inspiration was behind developing this new version? Was it a combination of a whole bunch of different thoughts, or was it something very specific that inspired the team to get to where it is now?
I think it boils down to actually what we wanted to do with Assist since the beginning, where we know we have a burning problem that we want to solve, which is doing digital employee experience management is actually a quite sophisticated practice that you need to put in place, and you require tools like Nexthink to be able to get there. And it takes time, right, to somehow ramp up, because again, everything is so sophisticated. Digital employee management is so, such a broad topic, and you can do so many things with it. And the burning problem to solve is how can we actually make sure that the time to value that our customers have, how can we make it as short as possible for them to really get value out of Nexthink? And this is why we released, again, the first version of Nexthink Assist that was helping them to somehow bootstrap their activities on Nexthink Infinity. But while we were working on this first version, what happened is, all the technology around AI is moving so fast. So we have so many innovations coming along the way that we actually were able, while we were developing V1 and then we just released V1, to actually just step back and look at AI and what we could do with it. And instead of just, try to help our customers bootstrap their journey with it, we thought maybe let's transform how people interact with digital experience data, and let's make it way easier than what it is today. So I think it was really the inspiration behind this new version of Nexthink Assist.
And Nexthink, even from the very early days, back when I was a customer 12 years ago, the platform was all about making my life easier, making it a better experience for me as an IT person and a leader of an IT team to service our customers. And now we're making it even easier. How does Nexthink Assist change things for IT teams and end users? Go into a little more detail of what it's actually doing for people.
Yes. Look, let's use some examples, some success stories that actually were shared by some customers. One that comes to mind is one customer mentioning actually how their IT teams were organized and who was actually owning Netsync in their organizations. And in their situations, who the persons that were actually managing Netsync were great experts at the platform, but were not necessarily didn't necessarily have a lot of technical expertise around, for example, troubleshooting. And what happens before Assist is so if another team came to the Netsync team and ask actually to get data to troubleshoot an issue, for example, the people in the organization that own Netsync were just able to extract the data, the bare minimum data, and then share that with the team. And then the other team was then asking for the next set of data. And there was this very complicated back and forth because again the team that was actually owning Netsync didn't have all the technical knowledge to really right away give the right data and move quickly to a resolution of an issue. And suddenly with Nexthink Assist, you can, for this kind of persona, they can suddenly get guidance from the system. So they don't need to be extremely technical and knows exactly how to troubleshoot all the issues in the world because the system is actually guiding them. So it's way easier for them to actually then improve and fix issues in production. So that's actually quite exciting to hear as a success story.
Yeah, and it's both sides of the problem. The IT administrators who know IT systems, the platforms that we use to manage our environments might not know the details of how to troubleshoot some of the data it gathers. There's just such a broad environment of gathering data, applications, agents, operating systems, cloud, network. The people who are running the system don't know all of the troubleshooting steps for the data they gather, and vice versa. The folks who do know those segments, like the people in the network team and the application team, weren't involved in developing and standing up the Nexthink platform, so they don't know the console. And this kind of solves both of those problems. It makes it easier for administrators to manage the environment and really get a holistic view of what's going on. I know you've got some plans to go even deeper. So let's ask Assist a question to demonstrate what it can actually do in practice. And I'll let you drive.
Guys, can we please be a bit more polite this time to Assist? Like, let's say, let's please.
We have to say please and thank you.
Please, I think we should. I think and stop calling Assist it. I've heard its voice now. It's clearly a she. So, can we invite her, please, to show us what she can do? Please, come on, guys.
Point taken.
Yes. Okay, sure. Great. Yes. Yes, that's quite exciting. Let's actually start discussing a bit more with Assist. So, hey, Assist. So, can you please tell me a bit more about my environment and how it's performing today? And also, can you please tell me what should I focus on to have the biggest impact on my employees?
Based on the data I've analyzed, here's an overview of your environment's performance today, along with key areas to prioritize for maximum impact. DEX score, the average digital employee experience, DEX, score over the past 24 hours is 56, indicating room for improvement. Investigating the lowest scores should be a top priority. System crashes. These are currently impacting 82 devices, which could be negatively affecting productivity and user experience. This warrants immediate attention. By focusing on these areas, you can drive meaningful improvements to your overall digital employee experience. Would you like me to provide more detailed insights on any of these issues?
So this is great. Thanks for this analysis. That's actually quite interesting. You mentioned some system crashes happening in the environment. Can you please analyze them and come up with a resolution plan?
Sure. Based on an investigation I ran, here is a summary of the system crashes in the past 24 hours. Crash overview: 61 devices were affected. Incidents spanned multiple OS versions. Top crash types: system_service_exception, likely caused by driver issues or conflicts. Win32K_critical_failure, typically linked to graphics or input device drivers. Next step: use Nexthink system crash troubleshooting workflow to automate investigation and resolution across impacted devices. This approach will help reduce crash frequency and improve system stability.
You. Yeah, what I liked with your answer is I'm not an expert, right? And I don't know exactly how to troubleshoot system crashes. And you're actually guiding me there because you're telling me what is the most common types of errors causing system crashes and how to fix them. So this is really, really great. Let's try something else. Let's change topics here and see how much you can actually help me make more strategic decisions. So let's say we need you to help me identify key savings opportunities. Tell me how you and Nexthink can help there.
Here's an action plan to optimize IT costs using Nexthink. Fleet management. Reclaim and use devices. You have 4% inactive devices in 30 days. Use the Smart Refresh dashboard to identify underperforming hardware. Software licenses. Detect unused apps, Visio, Project, with the Software Asset Optimization Library pack. Utilize the software metering module to track application usage and develop a tailored license optimization strategy. App rationalization. Review top 20 installed apps to eliminate redundancies. By following this plan and leveraging Nexthink's capabilities, you can significantly reduce IT costs while maintaining optimal performance and user experience.
Thanks. This is actually very good because once again, one thing that is great here is not only the suggestions, but also all the references to documents and modules and everything that Nexthink can actually provide to support those use cases and those objectives, which I'm not necessarily aware of, and then Assist you are actually telling me. So this is great. I have a final question for you here. I want to try something a bit more creative. Can you please look at something unexpected in my environments that I will definitely find surprising?
Certainly. I found something unexpected in your application usage data. According to the investigation I ran, the ChatGPT desktop app was used 5,374 times in the last 30 days, more than tools like Teams or Adobe Acrobat. It's unusual because it's not a standard enterprise app. The desktop version isn't widely available, hinting at a beta or custom setup. It ranks in the top 25 most used apps in your environment. Want me to investigate further?
No, it's all good. Thank you very much.
Signer for times there, maybe, Mark. And thank you so much, Assist, for that very impressive display. Mark, what are some of the key innovations here powering this new version?
So actually, what's interesting and regarding innovation and how we're approaching Assist is we know that again AI is moving so fast and there are so many things that we can do now that we couldn't do 6 months ago. So what we're doing is we're trying to take a very agile approach here with Assist, where we trying to prototype and experiment a lot with a sets of new features all the time, and if they could deliver value to our customers, then we are bringing it to the product. Concrete example of that is, for example, something that we're going to release very, very soon to our customers. Normally it's going to be next week, where now Assist will be, for example, able to plot visualizations of data. And again, this is something that started as an experiment and we saw a lot of value in it, and now we're bringing to the product. So it's really continuous innovation that we are bringing to Nexthink Assist.
And we heard the kind of encounter between AI and AI there with those facts about ChatGPT, which were, I think, very interesting and probably illustrative of a lot of workplaces today, right? But when it comes to AI-powered tools in general, Marc, there can be misconceptions, particularly around complexity or control. How does Assist, in your view, help to address these?
Yes, I think we need to understand what Assist is and is not. So Assist is really designed as a tool to actually support and somehow augment our users' journeys when they do DEX management. So what I mean by that, it's a feature of convenience. It's going to really help them in their journeys, but Assist itself, for example, is not making any decisions, right? It's always going to be a human interacting with Assist providing insights, and then someone making a decision. So the AI is, the user at the end is in full control of the AI.
Very cool. And I get a question now for you, Assist, right? And this is a final question. It's only right that we ask it of you, I think. So who should be considering using you, and which teams would benefit the most from your special capabilities, please?
Nexthink Assist is a powerful tool that can benefit various teams within an organization, particularly those involved in IT operations and digital employee experience management. IT operations teams. These teams can leverage Assist to quickly diagnose and resolve device performance issues, network problems, and application-related concerns. Service desk teams. Assist can help support staff provide faster and more accurate responses to employee queries and troubleshoot issues more efficiently. Digital workplace teams. These teams can use Assist to gain insights into employee experience trends. IT managers and directors. They can use Assist to get quick overviews of the IT environment's health and make data-driven decisions. For more detailed information on using Nexthink Assist, including its capabilities and best practices, you can refer to the Using Nexthink Assist documentation.
Very, very cool. Thank you so much, Assist, for coming on the show. Thank you, Marc, not only for bringing Assist onto the show, but for joining us also, and for helping to develop this really revolutionary new product and everything else you do at Nexthink too, man. We really appreciate that.
Very cool.
My pleasure. Thank you guys for it.
Thanks, Marc.
And obviously, we will have links for the documentation. I mean, I think Assist, you might be listening to this prior to the official launch of Assist 2.0, which, as I say, comes out on the 22nd of April. But we will include helpful links either after the fact or to the preliminary documentation that's already available. We'll also have links to Mohammed and Maxim's discussion from 2 weeks ago in case you missed that and you're interested in learning a little more about how Assist 2.0 was developed. And look, just remains for us to say, let us know what you think, listeners. Do investigate this amazing new product. I know there's a lot of excitement in our customer base and around Nexthink about this launch. And you'll find a lot of information and insight on the website, of course, as well. And Marc, thanks for coming on board. Assist, thank you very, very much. Even if Tim doesn't, P's and Q's, Marc and I are very, very polite.
Thank you both. We have to keep our AI overlords happy.
So. Quite so. Got to teach them to be polite, Tim. Got to teach them to be polite. Thank you so much, guys. Thanks, everybody.
To make sure that you never miss an episode, subscribe to the show in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcast player. And if you're listening on Apple Podcasts, make sure to leave a rating of the show. Just tap the number of stars you think the podcast deserves. If you'd like to learn more about how Nexthink can help you improve your digital employee experience, head over to nexthink.com. Thank you so much for listening. Until next time.